shine before others. Okay. Khanya Be The Light is inspired by the verse Matthew 5 verse 16, which speaks of being a light, and it says, "Let your light shine before others." The name was originally taken from my second name, which is Khanya. It's an action verb which is commanding you to be something, and in this case it's commanding you to be a light. And we are talking about young people being a light in a very godless generation, in a generation that is dark, in a generation that is filled with old cultural beliefs that have limited the potential of young people, especially the young people in the rural areas. So we are targeting young girls who have amazing dreams, aspirations, but we want them to be the difference in their communities, to bring back those skills, to bring back the different talents that they have, and to impact their communities. So with Khanya's vision, we are part of a global change of development in the world, and we are contributing to the development of the Zimbabwean society through empowered and self-reliant young women. And our objectives of how we're going to get there are to make women aware of who they are, their identity in Christ, who they are, where they come from. Once you've started with the who am I and why am I here, then you're going to the mindset, right? What do I need to what are my thought patterns? What do I need to be focusing on right now in my life? Khanya has since established 5 service pillars, which are holistically empowering young women. And we know that man is made up of body, soul, spirit. And we know that it's important that someone is helped in all these areas so that they can become the best of to be. So these 5 service pillars, the first one being Keep Our Girls in School initiative, because as we know, education is one of the biggest, let me say the greatest keys to anyone's success in development, in developing themselves. So it's important that you are able to attain the highest level of education so that you're able to do the best at what you do. You've got the best knowledge at hand, you've got the best experience and exposure to what you want to be. So we have young girls that have joined the program, and now we've realized that they were not in school, so we've given them an opportunity to go back to school and to really we've given them a platform for them to go as far as they want to go. If they want to go up to university, to doctorate, to diploma level, whatever they can do, we want to be behind their success. So then the second one that I'm going to talk about is Rosensley Initiative. It's important that young girls coming from a poor background learn ways on how they can survive, how can they self-sustain, how they can self-sustain. It's important that they have all the skills given to them or transferred to them so that they're able to also tap into the different talents that they have. So under this initiative, we have basketry, we've got earrings, we've got beautiful necklaces, Zulu gowns, we've got fashion and fabrics, cultural dresses and skirts, and we have just launched the girls business under Khanya Crafts for Women. So this is a platform that is selling the girls products at a very good price so that they get what they actually deserve. We're also teaching them business literacy, you know. Also, it's important for the young girls to understand how to run a business, how to impress customers, so that should they move on 10 years from now, 5 years from now, even a year from now, they're able to run their own businesses successfully. We want to be able to see basket stores which are not just coming from us, but from other girls that have come through the program. Then our third service pillar that we have is Girls Basic Sanitary Health. It's important that young girls understand their body changes, and unfortunately in the rural areas where these topics are so taboo and really not spoken about because it's often looked down and never discussed amongst mother and daughter, we have stepped in to fill in that gap, and we are discussing all things related to the personal and physical development of your body as a young girl. Also answering questions that young girls have in mind. What do I do when this comes? What do I do when this changes? What do I do when I feel this type of thing happening in my body? We're able to then educate them, empower them, make them appreciate their bodies, and also educate them on diseases that they can avoid at a young age, so that they're not contracting or even falling into risk of different types of chronic illnesses in the next 40 to 50 years because of the choices that they've made today. And then we have abused survivors psychological rehabilitation programs aimed at helping young girls who have come from very abusive backgrounds and really difficult stories, where you hear someone is being raped or molested by a trusted uncle or a family member that they know, or just they're always being physically abused at home. Obviously, we are aware that some of these things derive from cultural beliefs, but we do know now that there's actually an underlying there's actually a line, where you see that this is now abuse, this is now taking advantage of someone's rights because they cannot fend for themselves. So we have campaigns that we've run during the year. So obviously we have 16 days of activism towards gender-based violence. We also have anti-bullying campaigns where we are going into schools in the rural areas and empowering young kids on, if they have any abuse happening at home, they need to be able to come to school and to talk about it and to seek help and guidance, and not to take it out on other kids by bullying them, by abusing them, by just all kinds of violent actions or toxic behaviors that happen in schools. So we also run these campaigns during the year. But also, more than that, we also do one-on-one counseling with young girls who have just come out of various forms of trauma, even those who have suffered from childhood trauma or even things that happened while they're growing up that is affecting who they've become today. We pick it up through assessment, we pick it up through relationship, and we say, right, we think you have a problem with anxiety attacks, and this is why we need to help you, and this is why we think it's something that can be overcome. So we have come in and stood and said, right, we can help you to be mentally well, to be aware of your mental health, so that you're able to be the best you. Because it's just an example of someone who has a bruise on their leg. They always seek help for that, right? They always want a bandage, they always want to clean it up, they always want to cover it. But what happens when your mind has been, has suffered through trauma? What happens when you've seen something that was so traumatic and it's actually done some damage, or witnessed something, or something that has been done towards you that this was infringing my rights? So this is where we help the girls to understand what abuse is, and also ways of how to overcome the trauma that they've been exposed to. And then the fifth and final service pillar that we have is the leadership and transformation developmental programs. So this is where we talk about all things etiquette and business grooming, social grooming. We want the girls to be given a fair chance at life, to be taken seriously, not just because they are females, or not just because they are vulnerable in society, but we want them to be taken seriously, and we want them to have the skills that are going to equip them so that they can be the best, so that they can be your best managers, so that they can be your best leaders in society, so that they can be your best entrepreneurs in whatever sectors that they want to go into. So we're teaching them how, first of all, life skills, how to behave in society, how to make a mark, wherever they go, so that someone can say, I want to associate myself with that girl. So we're teaching them about confidence, how to speak in front of people. In all our programs, we always give the girls an opportunity just to take leadership roles. So even if it's opening with a word of prayer, or even if it's discussing a certain topic, even if it's coming to the front and just sharing their views on a certain topics, these are all ways of how we are grooming them to become leaders and to believe in themselves, to believe that my voice needs to be heard in my society. I need to, what I say matters, and what I say is actually going to contribute to something that is great. So really inspiring young girls to believe in themselves. So these are all our service pillars. As you can see, or as you have heard, they are holistically touching on all the areas of the girls. In all these service pillars, we do have our charitable side. In everything that we do, it's important that we always give back. We are always giving back that knowledge, but we also do meet the needs of the community. So where it's involving educating young girls on their bodies, we do give them sanitary pads or toiletries, or where we see that there's a need for school shoes, we help them with school shoes or school equipment, necessities, anything that helps them. Even the young girls that we meet that are malnutrition and coming from very abusive backgrounds, we're then able to meet those needs and say, right, we can help you with groceries every month, just focus on school because that's all you need to be worrying about at your age. Thank you. I think it's important for social entrepreneurs to get all the help that they can get in Zimbabwe, because we're living in very tough times, and a lot of organizations start and they close because of lack of support, and you always find that the need is great and you just have so little to give and you always want to give more. So I think it's important that the community at large steps in. You know, an organization that is helping people is not going to stand or run on its own, and just because someone has started an organization doesn't mean they have all the steps figured out. They're just there as a servant, they're just there to serve, they're just there to give their time, they're just there to be a leader in that community and to help. But realistically, for them to get to the goals and even the vision that they have in mind, or the vision that is driving them to move forward, your support. So I think it's important that we realize that people cannot run these social activities without that support. And just because someone has started an NGO, has started an organization, has started a charity, whatever it is, it doesn't mean that they have the resources for it right away. And your help at the beginning, at the initial stage, at the foundation level, at the grassroots level is really appreciated for it to carry impact in that community. And in whatever way you can help, you know, I think it's important that you know that you can have a place in that big family. Because we're a girl-child organization, we have recently realized that there has been such an increase in teenage pregnancies in Zimbabwe. But even before that was recognized, and even before that was captured in data, we wanted our girls to be very busy and productive during the times of lockdown. So where there was no school at all, the young girls were meeting up in homes and they had extra lessons. We're also teaching them on English. We're just having some English lessons during the week, and we'll bring out volunteers and have the girls read magazines, you know, highlight words that are new, look for the different definitions in the dictionary, and really have an advantage. So like when schools start again, they're at a more higher advantage, and they're also able to teach other girls or other youth in their classes. So during the time of COVID-19, we were literally doing things that we couldn't have done when everything was open. So the good thing is that you're able to actually create activities for the youth that are helping them to be busy, because that's really important, because if young people are not busy, they're always going to get up to something. And also for young girls to be inspired by different things. So even the arts and crafts was started during the time of COVID. We actually went into a bit of agriculture and farming. So last year the girls were given 5 cows to rear. At the moment though, we have paused on that, but next year we will be continuing. So they actually made a lot of money from their first sales, their cow sales, which was able to give them money for this year's school fees, and also pay for stuff like uniforms, stationery equipment, calculators, books, pens, school bags, and so forth. So during the time of lockdown, these girls were able to come to a central place and learn about how to take care of cattle, how to take care of goats. We were also getting them involved in activities that are not popularly known for girls, you know what I mean? So we were getting them involved in activities where people are like, oh, that's not for girls, and that's what we wanted them to do, or what we wanted them to be exposed to, so that they can say, oh, during COVID-19 I learned how to vaccinate a cow. You know what I mean? So they had so much advantage because they're getting a lot more educational activities that obviously they cannot get at school, but that they can do during the time where they're on holiday and not doing anything. So yeah. Our recent award, I I think for me it was a personal kiss on the cheek from God because we just started everything this year. The training, we had a lot of training boot camps, and we would say, right, we're going to just be in Guy for 2 to 3 weeks and we're just going to be teaching the girls on the skill. It was tough because a lot of girls obviously would feel like giving up on themselves. They won't be believing in themselves. They won't be feeling like, okay, I can actually be on this level that they are pushing me to. So we had to really empower the young girls, not just on a skill set or physical level, but also mentally, to say, this is what we want you to produce in life. This is the quality of excellence that we are wanting to teach you. So for us to get an award now when the work has been launched, because this is a result of what we've done this year, this is a result of all the hard work that has gone into really making this a success and training so many girls, and those girls creating a quality that is amazing in their products. Now for that to be captured and for that to be noticed in our own city, that was just amazing. I felt so honored, and I felt like God really remembered us. In fact, God was just saying, you don't even need to wait for 10 years. You don't need to wait for 20 years down the line. You've just done enough just to get to this point. So for me, I just say, Ebenezer, God has brought us this far. This year, 2021, has been such a success for us, and we're hoping that in 2022, we will be shocking you all, because literally a year ago, none of this was there. But a year later, we have basketry, we've got beautiful basketry, we've got your Xhosa, Zulu, Tswana jewelry pieces that are done locally, we've got beautiful gowns to go with it. We are doing everything that we can as to the glory of God. So I am so grateful that God could even give us such an opportunity for us to be exposed to our city, to our world, to our country. Yeah, thank you so much. So we are on Instagram and Facebook. On Instagram, we are at Khanya Be The Light. And then on our arts and crafts, we are at Khanya_crafts for women. And then on social media, if you just type in Khanya Be The Light, we will be there. So we also have a website that you can look on our work, on what we are, what we do, what we're all about. That's www.khanyalight.org. And for our official email, donate@khanyalight.org. Thank you so much. Oh, my contact number is +263 717 149 624.
Okay.